This is Africa, and in this complete travel guide I'll show you Tanzania.
Welcome to Wout of the World, and you're still joining me on a big world trip. But there's gonna be a new adventure. We celebrated New Year's Eve twice already and we're traveling more than a year, but we moved on to the next continent. From Asia, we flew all the way to Tanzania and we're on a small island in front of the coast, which is Zanzibar.
It's been a year already since we departed on the greatest journey of our lives. On all continents we saw some true world wonders. After a camper trip in Australia, you recently saw the most beautiful nature on the Philippines. And that's where we took off from on a plane. So we flew from Ethiopia to Tanzania. On Zanzibar, we immediately take a taxi to a remote paradise.
Zanzibar is of course a well-known tourist destination for people all over the world. There's also a lot of accommodation to choose from. So what do you choose? We chose to be a bit in the middle of nowhere. Way down in the southwest there's a town called Kisimkazi, and this is the Bella Vista Resort. It's a beautiful garden with a swimming pool, and we're looking out over the ocean where the fishermen are doing their jobs. It's a beautiful African place.
And the first thing we see over there is this amazing view.
Before I told you that we are staying a little bit in the middle of nowhere. It's not entirely true, because for local life this is the place to be. This here is Dimbani Beach right in front of the hotel, and if you want to catch the first glimpse of Zanzibar with the local life, the beautiful beach and the blue water, this is the perfect place to start.
Zanzibar is Africa's most famous island, and it's not even that big, because it's only 2,700 square kilometers. It was colonized from the 16th century, first by the Portuguese, then the Arabs and also the British. After that, it was an independent country for a brief period of time. Today the island belongs to Tanzania, and 99% of about 1 million inhabitants are Muslims. In our village, the people are very friendly and welcoming towards tourists.
On the one hand, of course, it's beautiful that we're here in a small African village near the ocean with all the fishermen around us. But on the other hand, we'd like to see the island as well. So what we needed was some transportation. And today we rented this car over here and we're gonna make the first little tour around the island. Let's go!
Time to fill up the car on gas and dive into a new exciting culture.
The first place that we visit on Zanzibar is the east coast, and we ended up in Jambiani, which is like a local spot with a lot of kids playing on the beach, a lot of little boutique hotels, and because there's a lot of wind, there's also a lot of kite surfing here. we drove a little bit more up north, still on that beautiful southeastern coast, and we end up in Paje. It's a beautiful little town with a lot of local people as well, but a lot of beach bars, a lot of kite surfing, and the clearest blue water next to the widest sand that you ever saw. So I'm gonna take a little dive here with the family. Chilling time.
From the air we see how popular kite surfing is on Zanzibar. There's a lot of wind and the water here is still shallow after hundreds of meters off the coast. We also see these traditional boats that are called dhow. They are used for fishing by the local people and they are made entirely by hand.
So guys, we're sitting here in the bluest and the most clear water in Africa. And it's paradise.
Awesome!
Yes, this water lends itself to the most beautiful photo shoots. Isn't she just the next Bond girl?
Wow guys, this little town called Paje and the beach are super relaxed. What nice African vibes over here. But we're gonna continue our trip. Gonna head back to the hotel because on the way I saw another beautiful blue bay that I want to check out. So the car's over here. Let's go. So this is what I saw from the car. Between the palm trees I saw this remote little beach on the most southeastern tip of Zanzibar. A little bit south of Jambiani and just before we go around the corner again to the west side. But it's low tide and you see the coral coming out of the water. There's almost nobody here. All the palm trees. This is really, really, really incredible.
We drive back to the resort where there is a cold Kilimanjaro waiting for me. And I can tell you, after the first ride along the busier beaches, we now realize how unique and peaceful this place is. But there's still plenty to see on this island, so we grab a car and drive about 80 kilometers north today.
Wow guys, we drove for about 1.5 hours to reach the most northern tip of Zanzibar. And this is Nungwi beach, one of the most beautiful beaches you can find on the entire island, all the way in the most northern tip. But it was kind of hard to find a parking space. All this local life around us, we didn't really feel safe to just park the car anywhere. So we looked for a hotel, and this is the Hilton by the way, and we asked to park over here, and they gave us a free parking spot in exchange for us having some drinks or lunch or whatever. So we're gonna do that and then enter the beach through the front door, Nungwi Beach. This is it guys, we're in heaven, but they call it Nungwi Beach over here. It's one of the best beaches I've ever seen and the best beach you can find in Africa, to my opinion, because of its shape. It goes all around the top corner of the island and it's the whitest sand next to the bluest crystal clear water. So we're gonna do some chilling, we're gonna have a little lunch, and I'm gonna show you what's going on with my drone from above. Ever since we got here, this kind of became my favorite drink. It's called Stony Tangawizi and it's like a ginger beer, but African. And it's better than Coke, I think. If you don't want to drink beer all day, this is a good alternative.
The north side of Zanzibar is very different from the south where we're staying. This is where the more luxurious hotels are located and where all the honeymooners go. The great thing about Zanzibar is, even here, you take just 2 steps outside the hotel and you're already back in local life.
From the most northern tip we drove a little bit to the south, like 15 minutes to enter the next beach. And where we had some parking problems in the previous one, this one is pretty easy because we drove all the way up to the beach. And this behind me is called Kendwa Beach. Just look at it. It's pretty, right?
With the drone we can see the fishermen and many nomads called Masai. You see them everywhere in their traditional red loincloths.
You have to admit, guys, where in the world can you just park your car right on the beautiful white beach, just roll over twice in the sand to hit this crazy blue water, and when you look around you, it's just like the brochures. This is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I get now that everybody wants to go to Zanzibar for the most beautiful beaches in the world. And especially with the drone from above, guys, here, with all the sandbanks, it's incredible. Wow. It's time for another day out, guys, and today we're gonna explore another side of Zanzibar because we were in the north yesterday. Before you saw us cruising the east coast, we're on the west side ourselves in the hotel, and now it's time to discover the south. The most southern tip of the island is supposed to be really beautiful with big rocks and nice beaches, so let's explore.
Across the countryside of the south, we drive to the most extraordinary beach that I was talking about. Very remote between the baobabs is Matende Beach and the Eden Rock.
Wow guys, I certainly didn't lie when I said the south coast was equally special as the north coast, because look at the giant rocks around me and this beautiful, perfect little beach with the bluest water.
Along the south coast of Zanzibar there are mainly high rocks, but here you can find this hidden beach. And this too is a very good place for a photo shoot.
On days like these, I'm really glad that we have a rental car, because when you go on a tour, you'll see that you'll be everywhere on the most busy time of the day. And we were early on this beautiful beach, and when we're leaving, a lot of people coming in. So, perfect beach, but go on time with the rental car.
Time to get out of here quickly, because there is another highlight planned for today.
When you're driving up north on Zanzibar from the south, you'll cross Yozani Forest. And in this forest there are some special monkeys that only live here on Zanzibar. And we saw them hopping by in the trees when we were driving there. Awesome!
I stopped to buy a ball for Jens, and it's like $1.50.
Today we pay a visit to the capital of Zanzibar, which is called Zanzibar City, but the old quarter is called Stone Town. And this is all UNESCO World Heritage, so let's have a look around.
Stone Town has had its share of both interesting and very sad history. The Arabs traded not only spices here but also slaves. And now the town has become a symbol of the battle against slavery.
When you visit Stone Town, there's definitely one building that you cannot skip. It's the former house of Farouk Bulsara, which we all better know as the singer of Queen. His name is Freddie Mercury, and I'm standing right in front of his birth house. So let's try and knock and see if he's home, guys. Hey, Freddy!
It's almost time to say goodbye to our own slice of heaven. But where exactly are we going?
Serengeti.
Right, in Africa you have to go on a safari, of course.
We're gonna take an airplane to the mainland, we're gonna head on in Africa, we're gonna go on safari, and we're going to fly to Arusha in 1 hour. We just landed in a town called Arusha and it's super small, but they have an airport and they have some hotels in the small village because this is the main gate towards some national parks and beautiful safari areas. And we're gonna check that out tomorrow. We're gonna get picked up here by our safari guide and tomorrow in the early morning we're gonna start our journey. I'm looking forward to it, guys. It's beautiful weather, so curious to see what animals we'll find.
We're picked up by the men of Best View Safaris. We see that we really arrived in the heart of Africa. And sleep in the Charity, a peaceful oasis right in the middle of the busy streets.
What a room, guys, what a room!
We sleep here for only about $40 and look out over Mount Meru. With 4,600 meters, it's the second highest mountain in Tanzania.
So we're having breakfast in the garden of the hotel, but it resembles the Garden of Eden if you ask me, because having breakfast here, wow, good start of the day. Wow guys, we slept like babies. It's a little bit colder here than in Zanzibar. So yeah, it's nice to be out in the morning. We had some breakfast in the garden like I said, and we're gonna be picked up for the first safari today, which will be to the park called Tarangire, a little bit west of Arusha. And they have 3 of the big 5, so I'm hoping we're gonna see lions, leopards and elephants. And also you can see gazelles, zebras, giraffes, everything you want to see in Africa, like warthogs. Yes, that's it. So very excited. Don't know what we're gonna see, but it's gotta be amazing. So guys, the coming 3 days, this is gonna be our vehicle. It's what you dream of, right? When you're going on safari. Let's go.
Welkom bij Wout in de Wereld op Safari.
Welcome to Wout of the World on Safari. Together with our driver and guide, the safari jeep takes us to a true highlight in all of Africa. For one animal in particular.
Wow guys, that was quite the trip. It took us about 2 hours to get from Arusha to Tarangire National Park. But we're here and it's elephant paradise. All the signs say elephant paradise. And it's kind of creepy, but you already see the elephant skulls behind me. And we're supposed to see real live ones today over here. So here we go.
Nowhere in Africa can you spot elephants better than here. But a lot of other animals too, of course. We'll start right away with these mongooses.
How awesome is this, guys? We're just in the parking lot and we already see some water bucks, antelopes and zebras here. Just walking by.
The most famous safari park in Tanzania is Serengeti, but famous often means crowded. Tarangire is just as beautiful and a lot less touristy. This here is the green vervet monkey. The next animal we encounter is the warthog, and it looks like Pumbaa has had a few little Pumbas. Luckily, Zazu is around to keep an eye on them. The bird is called a red-billed hornbill. So this must mean that the Lion King cannot be far away, right? We see many white-headed buffalo weavers along the way.
So we're having lunch right in the middle of the national park in one of these, well, I guess safe zones, because there are not a lot of animals around. I hope not, because we saw a lion over there. A little group of lions actually. It was the first of the big five that we saw. One was sleeping on top of a termite hill and the rest was just crawling around it. They had cubs even. So the first of the big five. I hope we see the rest, but the score so far is waterbucks, mongoose, warthogs, gazelles, zebras, a lot of birds. We saw Zazu from the Lion King. I'm sure it was him. And yeah, the sun is shining, so that's also very nice. I hope we see the rest of the big five. Let's continue.
It's a good thing actually that there are rangers here, because not far from here it seems to be a little dangerous.
Wow guys, after the lunch we drove back immediately to the place where we saw the first lion, because the whole family is chilling here and they're close to the road. The guide got a tip from another guide, so that's how it works.
They are all around us. This lion family has a lot of male youngsters. And especially Scar is putting up a little show.
Wow, this lion over here, king of the jungle.
We continue our drive through the park of about 3,000 square kilometers, looking for that elephant paradise.
The second of the big five, guys. A lot of elephants over there.
Yes, this is what we came for. There's about 50 of them and they are so close. How bizarre. There are about 50,000 elephants throughout Tanzania, and almost 10% of them live protected in this rather small national park. So, do you remember that scene from Jungle Book? That's actually how they walk sometimes.
Wow, guys, so many elephants everywhere.
We keep on being amazed. With so many animals per square meter, we see giraffes and ostriches. The largest of all the hornbills on Earth is this southern ground hornbill, and it's quite special that we see it, because it's a very endangered species. These guys are marabous, and this is a helmeted guinea fowl. But we also encounter one more of the big five, the buffalo. Yes, do we have a live one, guys? Oh, here it is.
Wow guys, what a day in Tarangire National Park. We saw so many animals and we saw 3 of the big 5 with the water buffaloes at the end. So yeah, I can say it's really successful day. And after this we're gonna find the leopards and the cheetahs for sure and all the other animals. So now it's time for a beer. And who else than me can say that you're drinking a Filipino beer on the African savannah. Only one of the world. Cheers.
We return to our hotel, and we better hit the sack early today because tomorrow is another day full of adventure.
Good morning guys, and it's time for day 2 of our African safari here in Tanzania. We slept in a little place called Karatu, a little town just close to the Ngorongoro crater, which is a natural phenomenon. It has so many beautiful animals living inside the rims, and among them the biggest concentration of predator animals in the entire world. They have lions, they have hyenas, and we hope to see rhinos today. So let's go.
In this authentic African village we have breakfast on the top floor with a fantastic view. In the middle of all the safari parks we also get a nice insight into the African daily life.
From Karatu we drove for about 15 to 30 minutes and we enter the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, which is quite big, and the crater itself in the middle is only about 14 kilometers in size. But with that size it's the biggest crater in the world, and all the animals that live inside have an animal kingdom ruled by the lion. We first make a stop at the crater rim, so everything you see below is the area that we're gonna drive through and see all the animals in. Wow. We drove for about half an hour from the viewpoint to reach the inside of the crater. We're at the rim now, getting the permits, and the road towards this place was so bumpy, I wouldn't call it a road, I would call it a free massage. But it's time to spot the animals now, guys.
The peculiar word Ngorongoro is named after the sound of a cowbell. When it was used by the farmers here, the local Masai tribe started to call this area Ngorongoro. About 25,000 animals live on the bottom of the crater. And the first one that we spot is one of the big five, the elephant. Soon we would also see hundreds of zebras, wildebeests and this eland antelope.
What's very awesome about the month January is that you see a lot of babies, because this is the month that all the animals have little ones. So we saw them, for each animal actually.
It seems that I'm not the only one on a day out with my little guy. See here the second of the big five, the buffalo. We also spot many warthogs, and if you look closely in the distance, there is a lion walking by. We step on the gas and head on over there.
In the middle of the crater there's a very big lake, and in that lake we see a bunch of hippos swimming by. You can't.
While we are still busy with the hippos, our next target is walking by along the edge of the lake. Because we didn't see a hyena yet. This is also a paradise for bird watchers. See here the Abdim stork and the Kori bustard.
So far we saw 3 of the big 5 in Ngorongoro. We saw the elephant, we saw the buffalo and we saw the lion. But now we're gonna see the 4th one, because over there in the distance is a rhino, a black rhino. And I think we're gonna see it pretty well.
With only 30 specimens, this is one of the rarest animals in the crater.
Wow, Jens, they're so close. We see 3 ostriches, 1 male and 2 females, right over there.
Because the animals are so easy to spot, this has to be one of the best places in Africa to take your kids on a safari.
I got another big tip for you guys. If you see a toilet, use it, because there's not so many of them in the Ngorongoro crater. So yes, I'm gonna empty my bladder. But inside you'll see there's about 50 of them. It's time to have lunch, and we do this at a super nice spot, because you have a lake over here just beneath the mountains, and in the lake are some hippos again. We see a lot of birds as well. So yeah, I call this lunch with a view. Enjoy, guys!
Bye, guys.
Looks good.
Hey guys, there's a lion sleeping right over there in the tube. You see it? Wow.
Look, we see a crowned crane.
Well guys, we're back at the rim again of the crater, and this day was such a special day. Ngorongoro, I can really recommend it because there's so many animals down there, even more than we saw yesterday in Tarangire National Park. And we saw rhinos, so now it's 4 of the big 5. Let's go to the hotel. And tomorrow there's another day of safari, in case you didn't know.
Totally fulfilled, we drive back to our lovely hotel for a feast on the top floor.
We spent the night again in a typically African little village called Karatu. And the highest building in that village is the hotel we slept in. It's called Omega View Hotel and Resort. The truck is ready, the driver's here, the guide is here, so we're going for a new safari. Let's go!
It's gonna be a long day, so while enjoying an amazing view, we have a thorough breakfast with some local specialties. Today the jeep takes us to a unique pink lake in the middle of the African savannah.
The first place that we stop is not the national park yet, but a viewpoint to see Lake Manyara in the distance. And here in the front is the park where we're gonna drive around and see all the animals. A great start of the day. Wow!
And the pink lake is not the only special thing about this park. There's an animal here with some exceptional qualities that's found nowhere else in the world.
Today is already our third day on safari in Tanzania. And where yesterday and the day before we went to two other places called Tarangire National Park and the Ngorongoro crater, today we dive right in the middle. Because on an hour's drive of both of them we find Lake Manyara National Park, world famous for the tree climbing lions. So we're gonna try and see them, a lot of other animals too, and the big 5 score is 4 out of 5 today, because we still need to find some leopards. But let's do that.
The first animal that we spot is this white-throated blue monkey. Shortly, this one is called the Manyara monkey, and this one is also endemic for this particular national park.
When we first enter Lake Manyara National Park, there's a lot of jungle, so we can see some monkeys in the trees, but there's also a lot of savanna and grass. So over there's other animals.
But first we see many more monkeys, including a whole family of green baboons. And father seems to suffer from some morning wood. Good morning! In the grassland we are surrounded by these beautiful impalas.
I see one of the big 5 guys, the buffalo. A lot of them.
These may just seem like tame cows, but with their large sharp horns they can even defeat lions.
Look over there, guys, there's an elephant in the bushes. One of the big 5, check.
When the Lake Manyara National Park was founded in 1960, it was mainly to protect the elephants. With almost 1,000 elephants in only 100 square kilometers, you will not find more elephants anywhere in the world than here.
The Lake Manyara National Park is situated between the so-called Lake Manyara and the Great Rift Valley, which is a crack in the earth that goes through Africa for thousands of kilometers. The entire park is about 325 square kilometers big, and about 2/3 of that is all lake, which is pink, by the way, if you look closely, because of all the microbes that live inside it. This lake gives life to all the plants, all the animals over here in this valley.
We continue our drive through this wonderful piece of nature and we see zebras, all kinds of birds, and giraffes.
Wow guys, look how close they are. And there are several, I think a whole bunch, maybe 12, just walking around the car here.
In the month of January, most of the animals that we spot here in Tanzania seem to have little ones. And how cute are these baby elephants?
Look how close.
Let's continue because we still have to catch those tree climbing lions. Over here we got Pumbaa and his entire family, so who knows? The Lion King might be closer than we think.
Well, it's not exactly lying in a tree or climbing, but there is a lion over there in the bushes. It's kind of sleeping. This always remains my favorite advice to people doing safari drives. When you see a toilet, make sure you use it, because if your bladder gets full and there's a lion next to the car, I don't think you want to get out to pee against a tree.
This little fella over here is a green velvet monkey.
Time for lunch. That's it guys for this episode and also our trip in Tanzania. We went on 3 different safaris and we had so much fun doing it. But it's time to leave Tanzania, but not Africa yet, because we're going to the next country, which will be South Africa. And from there we have a camper van, see some other countries, do some more safaris. So I'll see you soon in the next episode. I already saw the sign when we came in, but that would be lying because now we visited it and we can do a check.
Check.
We drive back to the hotel and the next morning we receive a special announcement from our airline.
Good morning, guys. It's a very special day because we're gonna make a very big trip through Africa. First, we're gonna fly to Dar es Salaam, which is the capital of Tanzania. And from there we fly to South Africa. But the flights have changed and that's why we have to make a long stopover in Rwanda. So we'll have to spend the night there near Kigali, the capital. Which makes it very cool to visit even more African countries. And after that we fly to South Africa and make a beautiful road trip through Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe with a camper van. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And this is the morning here, still in Tanzania, have some breakfast.
So suddenly we are preparing for Rwanda. Fasten your seatbelts for even more Africa.
Welcome to Rwanda, baby! So we're here, guys. This is Kigali in Rwanda. And normally we would fly today to Cape Town, but we fly tomorrow because of a flight change. I've already told you, but they've taken care of everything and a guy is walking with us everywhere. We didn't even have to go through customs. It was all easy and we're gonna be brought to a hotel to spend the night here. All on Rwanda. Yeah.
So we just got to the hotel in Kigali and I went straight up to the 6th floor because it's the highest one and I wanted to show you the view because we're in Rwanda one day, so I have to show you something.
This here is literally the only building I know from Kigali. You see it in all the pictures. And at night it all lights up with beautiful colors. So
Costing $300 million, the Kigali Convention Center is even the most expensive building in all of Africa. Just like I told you guys, look at the pretty lights. And it's in the colors of the Rwanda flag. One giant Christmas ball. Wow guys, that moment that you are in Rwanda for just one night and they decide to give you a whole house with a living room over there, one over there, the bedroom, a bathroom, maybe there's two, I don't know, it's like MTV Cribs in here. And the dinner's included and the breakfast. So Jens, get ready for bed! What an experience so far, and this is what awaits us in South Africa. So don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you there.